In a world where power ruled everything, one secret ritual changed the fate of empires. A ritual so bizarre, it was whispered in shadows for centuries. Tonight, you'll hear the truth they tried to bury. He was not just a king, he was a man who believed in destiny. But the ritual he followed was darker than anyone dared to imagine. Whispers say the ritual began when the moon turned blood red. They believed the gods watched from above, waiting for the king's offering. In that moment, every soul in the empire held its breath. This was no ordinary night. This was the night that would shape history forever. The ritual was older than the palace itself. It spoke of sacrifice and power, and the king was ready to pay the price. Legends say the first drop of blood opened the gate to the gods, but what came through was not divine. A silence fell, colder than death itself. Every eye turned toward the altar, and then it began. A voice, not human, echoed through the palace walls, and the king, he smiled. No one knows what deal was made that night, but from that day forward, the empire would never be the same. They called him the God King, but the truth was far more terrifying than any legend ever told. From that night forward, people whispered his name like a prayer or a curse. The God King was no longer a man, he was something far greater and far more dangerous. His power grew with every sunrise, but what the people didn't see was the price he paid in the dark. They say the shadow that rose that night never left him. It followed his every step like a silent watcher from another world. Whispers spread across the empire. Villages claimed to see strange lights in the sky. Farmers swore the rivers turned red at night. Something ancient had awakened, and yet the people worshipped him even more. To them, he wasn't a man to be feared. He was a god to be obeyed. But those who served him closely saw something else. A darkness growing behind his smile. A hunger that no throne could ever satisfy. Whispers of rebellion spread through the cold corridors of the palace, but no one dared speak out loud. No one, except one. She was a priestess, once loyal to the throne, but she knew the truth of the ritual, and she carried a secret powerful enough to bring a god to his knees. She whispered to the wind, and the rebellion began. One spark was all it took to set an empire on fire, and while the God King stood above the world, a storm was rising beneath his feet, a storm that would shake the empire to its very core. The night was silent, too silent. The palace guards didn't know it yet, but history was about to split in two. The rebels moved like shadows. Their hearts thundered in silence. Their blades whispered in the dark. At the heart of the empire, the God King stared at the sky. He felt the storm coming, and for the first time in years, he felt fear. In the deepest chamber of the palace, the priestess found what she had been searching for, the forbidden scroll, the key to breaking the curse. As the king gathered his soldiers, the ground trembled. It wasn't the storm, it was destiny knocking at the gates. And then it began. The single horn shattered the silence. History itself held its breath. Steel met steel, fire met blood. The palace became a storm of chaos, a place where gods and mortals collided. Inside the throne room, the priestess and the king finally stood face to face. One carried power, the other carried truth. She spoke the ancient words. The walls trembled, his crown cracked like glass, and the god inside him screamed. And so, the empire fell not to armies, but to a single voice that dared to speak the truth. Legends say the storm never truly ended. It just changed its name.